Okay, so just click in the center there. everyone? Am I audible? Please confirm that everyone can hear my voice and you can see the screen. Am I audible, everyone? And can you see
Yes,
the
sir,
screen
you are
also?
audible.
Okay, so we will start the discussion. Yeah, so in this particular class, we will be taking an overview about the workshop on writing the research chapter. Because what are we going to do? In the upcoming days, we are planning to publish a book and more specifically a book on the maritime archaeology in India. So at that time, we actually had a plan so that we can simply give a like a call for proposal so that the student can write the proposal and then we could accept the proposal and then we could publish the book. Okay. But the problem is that like mostly the students are not aware about like what exactly is the research chapter writing, because typically the research chapters are getting published with the ISBN, okay, and these are typically the book, and generally the students are not getting such opportunities. So mostly you can see that like the professors, okay, or like the research scholars, okay, or like the department heads, or sometimes you can see like the PhD scholars, so they get the opportunity to write the book. But majority of the times you cannot see the students are getting opportunity to writing the books, okay. So that we had an idea that the students might have an idea about the book writing, or whether the students not be aware about like how to write the book, or more specifically to write the book chapter, okay. So from that perspective, so we decided to have this workshop, and at the work and the end of the workshop, so we will publish the book, okay, and by considering the research chapters by the students, okay. So now the very first question which is going to stand here in front of everyone, that what does it mean by the research chapter writing? This is the very critical question that you people can ask. Okay. See, so like the research chapter is similarly to a research paper, but this is not a research paper. Okay. So like firstly, you will have to understand that. So like sometimes you people get an opportunity to write your college assignments. Okay. So you know that the college assignments are not research papers, right? So the research papers maintain the high value than the than the college assignments. So apart from the college assignments, the research chapters maintain the high value than the research papers. Okay. So there is a basic difference that the research chapters are getting published with the ISSN. Okay. So these are generally a part of a research journal. Okay. So these are getting like published with the ISSN. But when it comes to the research chapter, so these are the part of the book and they get published properly with a ISBN number. Okay, so now we are planning to write a book, or more specifically to publish a book, okay, on the maritime archaeology. So firstly, you people will have to understand that what does it mean by the research chapter. For that, so I will show you a book. So probably you people might have heard about this book. So it's a very popular. Okay, so you can see this is Mrudulam Mukherjee. You can see this is Aditya Mukherjee, and togetherly they have composed the book here. Okay, so now you can see this is the book which is getting published with the ISBN number. Okay, so here you can see that this book is nothing but an example of a research chapter writings. So these scholars came together and they togetherly wrote the research chapters, and then their research chapters are published in the book format. Okay, so in the similar manner, what are we going to do? So we are going to follow the same parameters. So at the end of the workshop, okay, so you people will be getting an opportunity to write the research chapters for the upcoming book on the maritime archaeology, and togetherly your like the research chapters are going to get published in that book format. Okay. Yeah. So now, whenever you will be discussing further, so you people will have to understand like what exactly is the differentiation between the research chapter and a research paper. Okay, so that's you people have to understand. Also, like I told you, the very basic difference is that so the research paper is an area where you people must have attended the research conferences before. So probably you people might have attended a national research conference, or probably you people might have attended an international research conference, or probably you people might have write like the research papers. Okay, so like in your inter college phase. Okay, but here you people rarely find an opportunity where the students are getting the opportunity to write the research chapters or to write a book. Okay, so now here the books are always maintain the high volume, or they always maintain the high understanding. Okay, so like let me just give an example. So it will help you understand. So suppose if you are going to write a book on like the prime ministers of India. Okay, and suppose I'm asking you a question. Okay, yeah, so can you tell me who is the first prime minister of India? Anyone? Okay, so it's a very simple question, right? So anyone?
Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yes, of course. Just like everyone knows, this is Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so like that's the obvious answer, right? But now, if I'm asking you people, okay, so like suppose if you are going to compose a research on the prime minister of on the prime ministers of India, and you say that this is Jawaharlal Nehru, okay. But if I'm asking you what is the proof, okay, so what you will do here, so what Saket will do, so Saket will simply go and Saket will simply read, like refer a book, okay, on the history of India, okay, and from that particular book, he will simply like write that, okay, so this is the country and the first prime minister of India is Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, so this is what the research papers work. Okay, but if I'm talking about the research chapter and if I'm talking about like writing a book, okay, then here like Saket can go and he can simply refer the school books, okay, or like the books on the history of India, and he can simply quote the book, okay. But when it comes to the book, or like when it comes to like writing the proper like the research chapters, or like writing a book on like the prime minister of India, so you will have to go, you will have to visit the official government documents, okay, so like which are maintained by the parliamentary committee, and based on that you will have to quote, so prime minister Jawaharlal Nehru was the first prime minister of India. Or like suppose now if you are going to continue on like prime minister Jawaharlal Nehru itself, and suppose I'm asking you about like what's the birth date of prime minister, because we even celebrate that, so that is 14th of November, okay, and the year is 1889, okay. So now if you are going to write a research paper on Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and you want to like write about his birth date, so what you will do, you will simply go to his biography, or like the biography or the autobiography, you will check the detail in the autobiography and you will simply write that, okay. But if you are writing a book on Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, then this is not enough evidence, okay. So the apart from the secondary evidences, we always look towards the primary evidence, or we always look towards the solid evidence, okay. So to recover like the birth certificate, okay, or either you will have to like recover like the affidavit, okay, so like which is being submitted by the person while taking the oath as a prime minister or something, okay. So you will have to take these type of the document. So just on the secondary sources you don't compose a book, so that's the very like the first criteria when it comes to writing the book, okay. Because whenever you are writing the research paper, okay, so you have the privilege to make the mistakes. So like during the research paper, if you are going to make any mistakes, so that's not the problem at all, okay. So these are considerable if you are going to make any mistakes. But if you are writing a research chapter, or like if you are writing a book, so that's the very like the complicated area. Yeah, so like when I was giving you the example, if you are going to write a research chapter on like Pandit Nehru, so you want to identify the date, so you will simply go and you will check his autography, which is published by this Penguin publishers, and you will check there, or you can check the biography, okay? And you will simply make a statement that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was born on 14 November 1889. But if it is a book, so this is not the evidence. So you will have to go, and you will have to go with, so like either it can be birth certificate, either it can be the private or like the personal affidavit, okay, so like which is signed by the person. So this is how the difference between the like the research chapter and the research paper, okay. So like this is the very key difference, and where there is a very less scope for making the mistake. Correct? Are you getting the point, all of you, everyone? Okay, so we will do one thing. We will again recap whatever we have studied until this particular point, because majority of the people in the class so they have joined late. Okay, so now in the beginning you can see that we have started our discussion with the workshop on the research chapter writing, right? And like I told you, why we have arranged this particular workshop, because like I told you, in the upcoming days we were planning to publish a book on maritime archaeology. So here, like what is the traditional method is that firstly the students are not getting any opportunity to write the book. Okay, so that's the bigger problem. But even when like there is an opportunity to write the book, so what they do, so they give the call for proposal. Okay, so you will have to write the proposal, then the proposal will get accepted, and then you will be finally getting an opportunity to write the book. Okay, but here like majority of the students haven't done this thing. So what we decided, firstly we will give the training to the students on how to write a research chapter, and then we will ask them to write a proposal and to proceed with the research chapter writing. Okay, so this is the background of this workshop, and of course like at the end of the workshop we are going to provide you people an opportunity to write the research chapter for the upcoming book on the maritime archaeology. Okay, so now at the beginning we started what does it mean by the research chapter writing. So like I told you, the research chapter is nothing but the research chapter is a collection of the research essays, okay, or you can call it essay, or you can call it chapter by the research scholars, and they are getting published in the book format. So like I give you the example. So this is a very popular book, okay. So the title of the book is the India's Struggle for Independence, and you can see in the author list. So you can see this is Bipin Chandra, okay, a very popular person. For not only for UGPG students but also the students those who are preparing for the competitive exam. So Bipin Chandra is a very popular person. Or you can see this is Mridula Mukherjee, or you can see this is Aditya Mukherjee, you can see this is Sucheta Mukherjee, or you can see this is K.N. Panikkar. Okay, so these are the research scholars, okay, or these are the subject matter experts. So they came together and they wrote the chapters, and the chapters have been published in the book format by these Penguin publishers. Okay, so in the similar manner, at the end of the workshop, so what we are going to do, so the students or like you people will be together writing the chapters, and the chapters are going to get published in the book format. So similarly, the book titled as India's Struggle for the Independence. Okay, so at the beginning we try to understand what is the difference between the research chapter and the research paper. Okay, so so I gave you the example. So suppose if you are going to write a research paper on Prime Minister of India. Okay, so at the beginning of the research paper, what you will make a statement. Okay, so like Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru is a popular and the first Prime Minister of India. Okay, so in that case, what you can do, so you can give the introduction to Prime Minister of India, and while giving the introductions, what you will write, so you will write that like Prime Minister of India, or like Jawaharlal Nehru was born on 14th of November 1889. Okay, but when you make the statement, so what will be your source? So either you can check his autobiography, or either you can check his biography, okay, or like some other like the secondary sources, and you will simply make the statement. Okay, but this is suitable when you write a research paper, okay, because there is a privilege to make the mistakes. But when you are going to write the book, so you don't get such opportunities. So in that case, what you will have to do, you will need to go with the solid evidences. Okay, so either you will be going with the like the birth certificates, okay, or even if the birth certificate is not available, you will be going with like the affidavit, okay, which is being like submitted by the person while taking as a oath, or you will be looking forward to the other official documents, so by yourself. Okay, so you will have to go to these sources, you will have to take the data, and then Pandit Nehru was born on 14th November 1889. When you are writing the research chapter or like when you are writing a book, so you will have to go with this particular factor. Okay, so this is the very first and very fundamental difference between a research paper and a research book. Okay, and for that reason only, like mostly you can see like the professors, okay, or like the historians, okay, or like the research scholar or the PhD scholar, so they get the opportunity to write the books. Okay, so that's the very fundamental difference. Okay, so now we will proceed ahead and we will be studying about the other factors. But before that, are you clear until this particular point, everyone in the class? So is there any doubt, difficulty? Are you clear until this particular point? Everyone like Sanket and like Anish and like Chinky, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, and Veda, Jasmine, and I can see there is Arunitha, Vedika, and 81 other people in the class. All of you, everyone, are you clear? Like Shri, Shruti, or like Sohel, Siddhi, and like Sovik, and Suryani, and like Tonmoy, and yeah, and I'm really sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name, or I can say there is Kaushik, Vilsi, Yogini, Safi, all of you, everyone. Are you clear until this particular point, everyone? Okay, and in case you have any doubt, difficulty, so you people have freedom to unmute yourself and you can ask me the doubt, or also you can write your doubt in the chat box. Okay, so let's proceed ahead. Okay, so you people have understood the very first fundamental that the books are getting published with the ISBN. Okay, so that you understood that. So that stands for the international like the standard book number. Okay, and the research papers are getting published with the ISSN. Okay, so that is the Okay, so now you people have understood the like the simple difference. Now we will be discussing about the weightage. Okay, so like which is more important. Okay, so like let me just give an example. So you have Anish in the class, okay? And suppose Anish is a person who has completed his masters in archaeology or like the masters in ancient and culture history and archaeology, okay, from Delhi University, okay. So like what happens? So like that's the most important question you have to understand because like whenever the students are pursuing their bachelors or whenever the students are pursuing their masters, so the students don't pay attention to their academic portfolio. Because see, just having a degree, so that doesn't mean you become an expert of archaeology or you become an expert of the subject like history. So you need to have the portfolio. Okay, so in this portfolio the books are playing the very important role. Okay, so like for example, Anish has published 10 research papers. Okay, so to these 10 research papers, one book is equivalent to 10 research papers. Okay, so the books are always having the high value. Okay, because of that reason only, because when you write a book, so like I give you the example with this Prime Minister of India or like the first Prime Minister of India, when you are talking about his birth date. So if you are writing the research paper, you will simply go, you can check his autobiography and you can make a statement like according to the footnote number 1, and you will give the footnote an autography which is written by Jawaharlal Nehru, and you can mention that the birth date of Jawaharlal Nehru is 14th of November 1889. But if you are writing a book, so this is not an enough evidence. You will have to go with the original document. So like either with the birth certificate, either with like the bona fide given by the person, okay, or like with the self-declaration. So like whatever it is, but you will be going with the more and more specific details, and based on that only you will be making your conclusion. Okay, so now we will proceed ahead and we will be understanding like what exactly is the research paper. So like some of you have already published the research papers, or like some of you at least have made an attempt to write the research paper, but those who haven't like got any idea like how to write the research papers, okay, or like they haven't got any opportunity to write the research paper, so we will just take an overview. See, these research papers are the areas which standing specifically with the one word, so which stands for plus research. Okay, and why are we discussing that? Because like nowadays the students have got a very bad habit. Okay, so they are using certain other tools. So like even like that is yes, like even my personal experience. So whenever we conduct the examination, even at the Indo archaeology research, so majority of the students what they do, so they go to some like the AI tools like the Chat GPT or something. So they just copy the things and they just write the things. And there are the other type of the students. So what they do, so they are perfect in their format. So like what they will do, so they will see, so like they will properly write an abstract, okay, and after the like the abstract, so with the numbering they will give like 1.1 introduction, and they will give the introduction here, or they will go with the 1.2, and then they will be mentioning here about the literature review, or the 1.3, they will simply mention here about like the methodology they have used, okay. So specifically they will be paying attention to just the like the structure, okay. But if you are looking at their writing, then their writing is does not define plus research, okay. So their research papers are more like blocks, okay, or their research papers are more like the college assignments, okay. But here you should be paying attention to what is plus research, okay? So the knowledge which is already available in the public domain, so you will be using the same knowledge, and you will be trying to bring out something new. So this is the very first fundamental that you people have to understand that, because like I told you, even like in case like some of you have already attempted the research papers, but even while writing the research paper, so this is the fundamental area that the students fail to pay attention, because see, just having like technically correct, so that doesn't mean that there is a good content. And sometimes what happens, the students have the good content, okay, but they fail to maintain like the grammatical excellence, or they fail to maintain the technical details in their papers. So even in that case, their research papers are getting rejected by the publishers, okay. So we really don't want to happen both the things, so that we will be firstly defining, or we will be firstly understanding what is the plus research with the given example here, okay. But before that, I hope you all are understanding, because right now we are not in the offline class, we are in the live session. So I hope you all are understanding, correct everyone? Like Chinky, Anish, and like Aristo, and like Jasmine, Vedha, Sanket, like Vedika, and 84 other people in the class. Are you understanding the discussion, everyone, all of you? Everyone like Yogini, Zafi, and like Zainab, and like Vaishnavi, Vedant, Vaibhavi, Uma, and like Tanmay, Surya, Nidhi, Sohail, all of you. Okay, yeah, so actually I can't see your face, so I really don't understand the students are getting the point or not. Okay, so you can raise your hand like this, or you can write yes in the chat box, so that I'll understand the students are getting the point. So let's proceed ahead. Okay, so now whenever we will be like defining the word plus research, so there should be the solid argument on this plus research. Okay, so now here, let me give you an example. Okay, so like for example, now I'm giving you people a topic. Okay, and the topic will be about like the Indian archaeology itself. Okay, so now while writing the like the research, or like conducting the research on the Indian archaeology, okay, so what you will need to do, you will need to choose a topic. Okay, and to choose the topic is the most important area, because you need to find out the loops. Okay, so like what are the loops are there where the previous researchers haven't paid attention to, or like the previous research scholars haven't touched that particular area. So you will have to find out that area, and then you will be conducting the research. Okay, so like let me just give an example. So suppose now I'm a student, okay, and suppose now I'm pursuing my BA, and the subject for my BA is history. Okay, and while presenting my paper, okay, or like while conducting my research on a topic, okay, about like Buddhism in Maharashtra. Okay, so now while writing my topic here, or like while choosing my theme as Buddhism in Maharashtra, okay, so I can choose the multiple topics. So suppose now I am a student, okay, and I am going to choose a topic about like arrival of early Buddhism in India. Okay, so while writing this particular topic, so what I will do, I will be like probably studying the cave structure. So probably I will be discussing about the Karle caves, okay, so like which are like coming from Maharashtra, and they present the Hinian, as we get to see the example from the Mahayan period from the same cave structure. So like the Karle caves and the Bhaja caves I'll be describing about, okay, or I will be describing about like the Lunad caves, okay, or I will be discussing about like the monuments, okay, like so like more specifically from the ranges of Maharashtra we get to. From that, what I will do, I will be describing about the religious text. So for example, I can go with the Sri Lankan text, I can go with the Buddhist literature, okay, or even I will be like going with like the secular literature, or I can go with the traveler's account, okay. And based on this traveler's account, I can be like giving here the examples, and based on that, I will be composing my research paper, okay. But here the problem is that to define re plus research is the most important area. Okay, so if your re plus research is not defined very well, then like despite of making so much efforts, my research paper will not getting published at all. And in the beginning, I told you like what's the difference between research paper and the research chapter. So if it is a research chapter, then just forget about that. Even it will not be considered at all, because there is a high degree of excellence in writing a research chapter, or like more specifically write a book. Okay, so here you can understand that like I have elaborated my program very well. Okay, so while writing the research paper, so I have discussed here like how like early Buddhism came in Maharashtra, okay, or like I have like given my 100% information here. But the problem is that it does not define re plus research. Okay, so this is nothing but you can call it like the excellent block. Okay, so like the blocks also like give you the idea, or they provide you the information, but this can be the excellent block which is giving along with the quotation. But the problem will be that there is a no re plus research, okay, and if there is a no re plus research is being provided, then there is a no value to my research activity. Okay, so like let me just give you another example. So suppose now I am like writing about early Buddhism in Maharashtra, okay. So despite of going to all these fundamentals, so suppose if talking about the Lonard caves, okay, so like which is near the city Mumbai, and yes, I'm just giving an example. So suppose near this Lonard caves, so while conducting my research there, okay, so suppose if I found there a well, like which is like just constructed like on this particular site, okay, and like near this well, so suppose if I'm going to found some type of the inscriptions, okay, so like which have not been like deciphered, or like which have not been paid attention by the previous researcher. So here I can see the scope. So previously the researchers have documented the caves, but they did not pay attention. So the re plus research is getting justified. Or just imagine that while conducting my research, suppose if I'm going to find a Sri Lankan text, okay, and that the Sri Lankan text is talking about like like the people, those who wanted to worship Buddhism, so they travel from Sri Lankan to like these Buddhist sites in Maharashtra, or like they went to like the North India, as well as like they went like Vidisha and like the other places here. So while studying that, so they had found one remains, okay, of a structure, or like of a Buddhist site, okay, so like near like Mumbai or like some other city. So here what will I do? I have found one evidence which is going to present, or like which is going to throw light, okay. So either technically I go there, or technically I don't go there. Either I conduct the survey, but or either I do not conduct the survey, but I have got the evidence, okay, so that a particular text is talking about this. So it can become a discovery, and even I can write my research paper only on the same topic, and even it is a short research paper I'm writing about. So this research paper will get published because it is justifying the possibility of re plus research. Correct? Are you getting the point, everyone in the class? All of you? Everyone? Like Sanket and like Anish, and like Shivanjali, Vedha, Jasmine, Vedika, and 74 other people in the class. All of you, everyone. Are you understanding, all of you? Okay. Yeah, so now I will give you like one of the examples, so like about the previous published book, okay. But before that, I will again give you people a quick recap, whatever we have discussed until this particular point, okay. So now here in the beginning, okay, so we of course like started our discussion with like why we started this research workshop, okay, or like a separate workshop on the research chapter writing. So like I told you, when we had a plan to publish a book on the maritime archaeology in India. So like what happened? So we firstly decided to go with the traditional method, so that we can give the call for the proposal. So the students will write the proposal, and after selection of the proposal, we will simply publish the book. But like I told you, the first thing is that students mostly don't get an opportunity to write the books. Okay. mostly the professors or like the PhD scholars or the research scholars, so they get the opportunity. So firstly, the student must not be having the expertise, and the second thing is that the books always maintain high excellence, or they require the high excellence, and as well as they maintain the high amount of value to your academic CV rather than a research paper. So by considering those things, we firstly decided to have a workshop and to train the students with writing the research chapter, and then based on that we decided to take the students to write like a research chapter based on that. Okay, so we will train you how to write the proposal or like how to choose the subject, and based on that we will be proceeding ahead, and at the end we will publish the book on maritime archaeology in India. Okay. And then we discussed about the differentiation between a research paper and like a book or like the research chapter. So I gave you the example with the case study. So yeah, so like I asked you the question, who is the first Prime Minister of India? So firstly, you people gave me the answer that Prime Minister of India, right? But now, if you're writing the like the research paper, okay, so what you will do, you will simply like go through any book. So like the Modern India, okay, or like you will be going through any other book. You will like simply make a statement that like Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru is the first Prime Minister of India, and you will simply make the statement here in your research paper. Okay, but if you are writing a book, then this is not a enough evidence. So what you will have to do, you will have to go with the government official document or the government's official chronology, and from there you will have to take the statement. Okay, so firstly so like in my research I'm making the first statement that like Jawaharlal Nehru was elected as the first Prime Minister of India, and this is the resolution. Okay, so like this is the like the quotation I have got from the Election Commission of India that the Congress Party won, and as well as I have attached like the resolution of the Congress Party members that like they are like together like electing Jawaharlal Nehru as their Prime Minister, and this is the oath ceremony documents. Okay, and like this is the like the photographs, and as well as like these are the official documents that I have got from the parliament. Okay, so when I make this statement, so then and then only it will make a statement of a book. Okay, if you are writing the research like the research paper, so you can simply like go with any book, you can simply write from the book and you can give the footnote. Okay, so it will be accepted. If it is a book, you need to go with the solid evidence. So this is my statement number one. And suppose if I make the second statement that like the first Prime Minister of India, that's Jawaharlal Nehru. So he was born on 14th of November 1888. Okay, so if I make this statement, then like what could be the source to justify the statement? So what I will do, if it is a research paper, then I will simply go with the autobiography written by Jawaharlal Nehru, and I will give the quotation that like in his like the autobiography, so he has mentioned he was born on like 14th of November 1889, or I can go with the biography. So like written by the other scholars, and I will simply note that. But if it is a book, so these are not the evidence, okay, or like these are not the solid evidence, I will have to get the birth certificate. Okay, so like either it can be through like the official documents, either I will be like going visiting the relatives. Okay, I will be like going, I'll be visiting even Gandhi family. I can go and I can see the self declaration, okay, or like the affiliate that's being submitted by the candidate while taking oath as the Prime Minister of India. So I need these type of the solid evidences whenever I'll be making the statement. Okay, so that's the fundamental difference. So with the like the research papers, so which goes with the ISSN, so that's the International Standard Serial Number. So these are simply going like the secondary sources, or even if you make any mistake with the research paper, so that will be totally acceptable. But yes, at the same time, whenever you are writing the book, so you need to present the solid evidences and the primary evidences that you will have to go with. So that's the first fundamental. And then I discuss with like what exactly mean by the word re plus research. Okay, because either it is research paper or the research chapter, then to choose the topic is the most important area. So like I give you the example. So suppose now I am a student and I'm pursuing my BA with history from Delhi University, and I wish to present a research paper like for the conference, and the theme of the conference is like the ancient India, or like the Buddhism of ancient India. So now I am writing a research paper on like early Buddhism in Maharashtra. So while writing the research paper, what I'm going to do, so like I'm just discussing about like the early cave structure in Maharashtra. I'm just giving the 3D mapping and like the detailed evidences of these caves. Okay, so I'm going to the caves. I'm using my camera. Okay, and as well as I'm taking like the best of the best pictures. I'm attaching the best of the best things here. Okay, and as well as I'm going with the literature review, and I'm like typically mentioning or like my first page with the abstract here, okay, or like I'm giving the keywords here in the bottom, and I'm maintaining the word limit for the abstract around like 100 like the words or below, giving it the pointer, so like the 1.1 with the introduction, or like the 1.2 with the literature review or the methodological review, then the second point, and as well as I'm giving the footnote or the end note, and I'm maintaining the style, whether it is MLM style or whether it is Chicago style. I'm simply giving different libraries. But my nothing but this is a blog. Okay, so we can find it as under the criteria of the R plus research. Then you need to justify the things. Yeah, so like I told you, suppose while going through the Sri Lankan like the literature, okay, so like suppose if I get any evidence that like some of the like the Sri Lankan people, so while going through the like the near the city Mumbai, okay, so like the ancient city Kalina, okay, so like it was once upon a time as Kalina, so like when like going through the city, so like they had seen a monument here. Okay, that's when I'm not talking about that Nala Sopara stupa, but suppose like if like any other the evidence I get, but at the present moment, so this is not found. Okay, but here I read in the literature, okay, or like in the official literature, that there is a possibility. So suppose now I'm not going on the field and I'm not trying to find out the stupa, but even if I'm writing a research paper that like there is the literary evidence and there is a possibility to find out a stupa, then it will become a research paper and even the research paper will get published. Okay, so here you can see that in the first example I spent too much amount of time, okay, or like I invested my too much efforts, okay, and I personally visited the site, but even it will not justify the research, and it will justify the research because there is a scope to plus research. So like whatever the things have been done by the previous scholars, and in case suppose the miss people haven't paid attention to that, so then and then only it will become plus research. Okay, so this is for the research paper. But like I told you, when I'm writing a book, then the things will be required at the par level. Okay, so if the originality of the things where it has mentioned, or I will have to use the other technology, and I can also like, so this is the different. Then the first point is that you need to understand plus research, then and then only you can write the research paper. And when you write a good research paper, then and then only you can write a good research chapter. Okay, and when you write the research chapter, a good research chapter, then and then only it will be getting published in the book format. Then to simply write a research paper, it requires too much like the logical abilities, or like the to the point like the narration you should have. So you can understand that while writing a research chapter, how much excellence and how much accuracy is being required. Okay, so are you clear until this particular point, everyone? Like Sanket and like Anish, Chinky and Vedha, Jasmine.
Like suppose you said the concept of plus research. So while writing
the concept of
plus research,
yeah.
like while writing the research paper, so is it necessary that we need to have a primary source?
Okay, see, with the research paper, so like I told you, so you have the privilege. Okay, so like Charvi and the other people, those who did not understand. So here I was giving you the example. Okay, so like firstly I gave you example, and I just asked you the question. So what's the birth date of like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru? Yeah, so now Charvi, if you are writing a research paper on Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and you wish to make a statement that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru like born on 14th of November 1889. So Charvi, what you will do, if it is your research paper, so you will simply go, you will simply check his like the autobiography which is being published by Penguin Publisher, or you can go with like the biography, okay, or like even you can go with like which are like already published book, and you will make the statement and you will give the footnote. Okay, but if it is your research chapter, okay, so like which is specifically part of the book, so these are not the appropriate sources, so you must have to go with like the more critical sources. So either you will require the birth certificate, or either you will require the bona fide, which is, or like the self declaration by the person while taking as oath as a prime minister. Okay, so this type of the area you are required to do. Okay, and as you asked me the question, so is it necessary to go with the primary sources? So if you are writing the research paper, so no, it is not required. So with the research paper you can simply go, but yes, if you write a research chapter which is a part of the book, then to go with the primary sources is the must require part to go with. Okay, so then and then only you will have the credibility to your book. Correct, I hope you got the point. Correct, Charlie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so is there anyone, see, you can ask me any other doubt. Okay, so don't worry about that. So is there any doubt, difficulty, anyone? Are you clear, everyone?
Sir, I had one question. I think due to connection problem, I couldn't hear. You said there is this one, the single most important factor, which you need to have your research paper published. So could you please repeat it?
Which one I'm asked?
So when you were giving the examples, na, so you said ki this one, like for this one case, it won't be selected to be published because it lacked that one factor.
Okay, yeah, so like the factor is the re plus research. Okay, so like Riddhi, when I was giving you the example, just like what I told you. So suppose now I'm a student, okay, and I'm pursuing my BA from Delhi University, okay, and like there is a research conference in my college, and I want to write a research paper, and the theme of the conference is Buddhism, okay. So suppose I'm choosing to write a research paper on like early Buddhism in India, or like early Buddhism in Maharashtra, okay. So while writing the research paper, so what I will do, I will discuss about the Buddhist architecture. So I will discuss about the caves. I can go and personally visit the Bhaja caves, or the Karle caves, or the Lunad caves, okay. Or I can personally visit the Kundhane caves, okay. Or I can personally go the other, like the architecture, or like the Buddhist stupas which are available there. So based on that, I can go to like the religious literature or to the secular literature, and I can discuss about, okay. And even like I can like utilize the inscriptions also, okay. And even I can like take like the 3D like the mapping of this particular caves, okay, and I can like collect the details, okay. So here I'm spending too much time and my too much efforts, and I'm making a research like the paper, okay. So in this research paper, so I'm very much technically correct. So I'm giving the good abstract, okay, and like even I'm maintaining the like the word limit for the abstract, and I'm having the proper footnote here. I'm giving like the 1.1 with the introduction and the 1.2 with the literature review, okay. And see, I'm here technically correct, okay. But the internal thing, it does not define re plus research, okay. So like at the same time, suppose while hovering through the sources, suppose if I'm going to get one like the Sri Lankan source, okay, and that Sri Lankan source is giving me the example that like some of the people from Sri Lanka, during the Ashokan time or something, so when they were like going through the for the pilgrimage purpose, so they found one structure, okay, or like the religious structure near the city Mumbai. So here now the structure is not available there, okay. But here I found the evidence here, okay. So that means it has defined me re plus research. So here if I write a research paper on that, so it will publish than this, okay. So in this particular paper, but this is a good blog that you can consider, or this is like good as a college assignment, okay. But when you are talking about the re plus research, so that does not define re plus research, right? So this is the most like the breaking point of any research area. So not only with the research chapter books or the research paper, so any type of the research, even if you are writing the research proposal, so that should be having the fundamental difference. How do you find out the loops, okay, or like how do you find out the scope? And if it has chosen the right object, so you will go with the right evidences, and based on the right evidences, you will be bringing the right outcome there. Correct. I hope now you have got your fully satisfied answer, right?
Yes, sir. So could you please type this phrase re plus research? I still can't get it.
Can I?
Could you just type it in the chat box? Re plus research.
Okay, yeah. So like the re plus research is re plus research. Okay, so like re and plus research. Okay, so like there should be the scope. So therefore, like it should be called as re plus research. Okay, so like re and plus search. So that is re plus research. Correct. Okay. Yeah. So is there any?
So what does re stand for?
Yeah, so like there is no such like technical meaning, Riddhi. Okay, yeah, so now here, so like suppose if you are discussing about re plus research, then you can write a fantastic research paper on how the word re plus research originated. Okay, so you can write on that. Okay, so like let me give you another example. So now you people are studying archaeology, right? And now suppose I am asking you people, so like what is the origin of the word archaeology? So can anyone tell me like what's the origin of the subject archaeology? So most of you studying your ancient Indian culture, history and archaeology. So you people must be studying that, right? Okay, so you people know the definition of the word archaeology, and you can see that the word archaeology is derived from the Greek term archaios or something, right? But if I'm asking you the question that who firstly used the word archaeology, so can anyone tell me? Does anyone have any idea about the same? Anyone? Okay, yeah, so not an issue, I'll give you the answer. See, by the Oxford Dictionary, okay, so like they have the assumption. So like when like Michael Foucault, so like he's like one of the scholars. So when he was writing his thesis on Immanuel Kant, okay, so he was a German philosopher. So in his thesis, he firstly used the term archaeology to like refer to the previous like the things that you were writing there. So to refer for the previous like the notes or like the previous points he had used the particular word. So here the statement has become okay. But suppose if I find something that the word archaeology might have been used by someone, so it will become a fantastic part of the research, right? So even like whatever you are writing, so you have to find the loop or you will have to find the scope. So then and then only it will become research. Okay. I hope now you are clear, Riddhi, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. And what about other people in the class? Is there any doubt, difficulty? Are you clear? Other people like Sanket and like Charvi, Vedha, Chinky, Anish, Jasmine, and 68 other people in the class. All of you, everyone. Everyone like Zafi, Yogini.
I do have one question.
Yes, yes, please.
So, sir, like while you were teaching us about the re-research in like while writing a research chapter, you like, but sir, the word research itself means to like add something new into a specific discipline through
Yes,
the
yes,
like
yes, yes,
based
yes.
on like specific primary or secondary resources. But sir,
Yes.
you said like while you use the word re plus research and you said that you justify the research gap, that itself is the purpose of research, sir. So why do we need to re-research instead of just research?
No, no, no. Okay, yeah. So you are taking it too much technical. Okay, so I just give you the example because whenever you word the word research, so this is re plus search. I mean, okay, so that I'm discussing about. Okay, but I'm like again and again pronouncing, so it became re plus research. Correct. I hope you got the point. Okay, yeah, so like that's not the point, but yeah, so the point that we are
Okay.
discussing about. So I'm discussing about the scope. I'm discussing about the loop. Yeah, so that you like precisely said. Okay, so till when approximately the workshop related to the paper writing will be going on? Okay, so like that will be discussing in the next class. Okay, so don't worry about that. So you people will be learning about. Okay, so now we will proceed ahead. But yeah, just give me confirmation. Are you clear until this particular point before I go to the next point? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's proceed ahead. Okay, yeah. So here I just gave you the like the case study also. Okay. So now here like how does it differ from research paper? Okay. So you understood that the very first factor I gave you is the sources or is the evidences that you will be discussing about. Okay. Now I will show you one practical example. Okay. So suppose now we are going to publish the book on the maritime archaeology in India. Okay. So while writing a book on the maritime archaeology in India or while writing the research chapters on maritime archaeology in India, okay. So in this particular case, you will have to present certain activity. Okay, like firstly while choosing the theme, so what we have like conducted one activity here, so we haven't decided any pre theme here because here you can go with the two things. Okay, so that we will be discussing in depth in the upcoming class, but the first one will be about like the academic analysis of maritime archaeology in India. So that's the first thing. You can go with the academic one. And the second thing that we were discussing about, so that will become as the scope for maritime archaeology in India. Okay, so what does it mean by the scope? So while writing about the chapters, okay, on the maritime archaeology in India. So either you people can discuss your hypothesis, okay? So like not the PhD hypothesis I'm talking about, but technically take the word hypothesis. Also, which means, okay, so like let me just give an example. So suppose you have, just imagine that this is Riddhi, okay? And this is the house. Okay, so like inside the house, so there is a bulb, okay, or like inside the house, so there is a light source. And what I'm saying, Riddhi, yeah, so like there is a light in the house, okay, so it will become a statement, okay. But what I'm saying to Riddhi, so there is a light in the house, so just come and see. So this will become the like the hypothesis, okay. So that does not mean I'm like imposing something on Riddhi, but I'm telling Riddhi, yes, come, see, and then build. Right. So similarly, whenever you will be like writing the proposals, or whenever you will be like deciding your chapter, okay, or like whenever you will be like conducting the researches, so you have to follow this type of the approach. So like the PhD people, so like those like might have applied for the PhD before, or those who have the experience to write the hypothesis, then they must have an idea like what type of the evidences that you people have to given, or you will have to present a data driven approach. So even with the data driven approach, so you just ask the person to come, to see, and to believe. Okay. So similarly, whenever you will be like choosing a theme for your book, or like for your research chapter on the maritime archaeology in India, so we have decided to go with the two. Number one is on the maritime archaeology in Indian academics. Okay. So here, so like these will be mostly like the essay type things. Okay, so it's very comparatively easy to deal with. And the second thing that we can mention about is like the maritime researches in the just like throughout the Indian, like the subcontinent will be taking place here. So here you can like discuss about the possible findings here. Okay, so either we can go with this, and don't worry about that, later on I'll discuss with you in depth. So like what are the key points that you are required to present here, or like what are the key points you are required to present here. But now just like consider one point, that the point number one that we have decided, so it will be more easy. And the point number two, it will be little difficult to deal and to collect the data. Okay, so based on that, we will be thinking like which way we'll have to decide. Okay, so like that will be choosing later on, or even like those who don't want to go with both the themes, so we can go with certain new themes also. Okay, so we are not rigid, or there is no such watertight system. So we will be choosing the theme, which theme you people have to go with later on. Okay. Yeah, so now we will be discussing with the book publication process. Okay, so now here whenever we are talking about the books, okay, so there are the single author books, okay, and also now we are going to discuss about the collection of the research chapters. Also, like I gave you one example in the beginning, so that was the book title as the India Struggle for Independence, and it was written by the scholars, okay, or like the number of scholars. So you can see this is Bipin Chandra, or like Mridula, or like Dr. Aditya and Dr. Sachita and Dr. K.N. Panikar. Okay, so like these are the scholars came together, and they togetherly like wrote the research chapters, and these research chapters togetherly got published in the book format, titled as the India Struggle for Independence. Okay, so in the similar manner, what we are going to conduct, so we will be togetherly writing a book. Okay, so we will choose a theme. So for that, we will be, of course, having a meeting, and we will take everyone's opinion. So don't worry about that. So like everyone will be togetherly giving the opinion. So based on that, we will be choosing like which theme is more suitable, and based on that, so that will make the alignment. Okay, so like from the chapter 1 to 10, so like either you people will get an opportunity to write in the combination. So like one like the one scholar and the other teammate, or you people can go with the individual research chapter. Okay. Now talking about the book publication process, then with the research chapters, firstly you will have to write the proposals. Okay. Yeah, so is there anyone in the class who has written the research chapter proposal? Anyone, or like who has got an opportunity to write the research chapters? Anyone? Yes, I'm not discussing about the research papers. I am talking about the research chapters which are getting published in the book format. So is there anyone who has got the opportunity? Anyone? Yeah, so like mostly students don't get, but even by chance if anyone has got. Okay. So now here, like you people will have to write the proposal. Okay. So like in this proposal, so this will be similar kind of task that you will be composing for your PhD hypothesis. Okay, yes, like that's what I was asking about. So, like the journal is a different thing. Okay, so if talking about like the proposal, so like there are the different parameters. So not now. In the next session, I'll be discussing about like how to write the proposal here. Okay, because you people have to practically write that. Then once you write the proposal, then there will be the committee. Okay, so like there will be the committee members, so like 4 5 members. Okay, so what they will do, so they will review the work. Okay, so either they want some additional details from your side, so they can write you an email, they can ask you for to present the like the additional details, or like either they can simply proceed with your application. Okay, then after that there will be the time frame. Okay, so like either it can be 1.5 month or 2 month or something. So based on that, like all the works will be collected, and after collection of the work, it will be going through the rigorous process. Okay, so it will be going through the subject matter expert, then after the subject matter expert, so of course there is a committee, and after the committee, so it will be going through the grammatical experts. Okay, because these are the books where there is a less chance for any type of the mistake. So even the grammar and like the writing tone, so that will be tested. So all the chapters should be in the right tone. Okay, and then after that, the book will be getting published at the end. Okay, so this is the criteria that you people have to follow through step by step by step. Okay, so now what will be the next step here? So okay, so I have done my BA last year project on economic empowerment for rural women. Okay, I feel like that should be your dissertation probably if your colleges are providing for the BA. Okay, so like was it a dissertation or chapter or research paper? So what was it, Lakshmi, exactly? Okay, so now this is the process that we'll be following. Okay, so now I'll take you to the next step. So this is about the proposal writing. Okay, so the proposal writing we will not be discussing now. So in the next session we will be discussing about how to write a proper book proposal here. Okay, or a proper research chapter proposal, and togetherly we will be like proceeding ahead. How do you collect the evidences? Okay, or how do you present like the data driven evidence, or how do you present the things here, and based on that it will proceed ahead and it will be getting accepted, and then you people will be asked for the further activities, and then finally it will be getting published. Okay, so these are the sequences to be followed on. Okay, yeah, so now the discussion, or like the basic point that we had to discuss about the introduction, that firstly why do we arrange this particular workshop or the research chapter writing. So that was the first thing, and the second thing is about like the other differentiation between the things. Okay, so I hope you people have got the clear. Okay, have you got the clear idea, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, like Riddhi and like Sanket, Charvi, and like Anish, Chinky, Vedha, or
Yes,
like
sir.
Kur, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, and 68 other people in the class, all of you, everyone. Everyone like Yogini, Vinci, and Vedika, Vedha, and Vedant, Vanshika, Vaibhavi, and like Tanvi, and like Tonmay, Shivanjali, Shalmali, and Selvan Dhiran, and I'm really sorry if I mispronounced your name. So I hope you people are clear. Okay, so now we will proceed ahead, and we will discuss whatever we had like taken as a part of the introductory session. Okay. Yeah. So before we revise, so just like notify me. So like, is there any doubt, difficulty, any question, anyone? Are you clear? Anyone? So do you want to ask any other question, anyone? Anyone like Charvi, or like Riddhi, Chinky, or like Anish, Sanket, Vedha, or 67? Anyone?
So you mentioned that we are supposed to like work on 2 chapters. Like you mentioned their titles and all. So are we supposed to like work on it right now?
No, no, no,
As
no,
if
no, 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 no. Not 2 chapters, Riddhi. So we have decided 2 themes. So like what will happen if we choose a difficult theme? So what will happen? It will become more difficult for you as a student to write. Okay. So first thing that we have decided is to go with the essay format. Okay. So like the essay format is the different thing. So what we do, we write the essays. Okay. So like for example, suppose we choose a theme on like the maritime archaeology in the Indian Academy. So like suppose if you are a student and you have already studied the subject maritime archaeology, so you can write an essay. So like not the research essay, but like you can write a simplistic essay about like the methodologies you have studied, or like how you can be implementing, or like how you can like conducting the activities on the same, or even you can even like simply go with your own overview, or like even with your own experience or something. Okay, so it can be also like become a part, and like this will more like a literature type of the activity. Okay, so like rather than like calling it as a scientific research one. And the second one that we have decided, so it's the difficult one. So this is about like the possibility of the like the researches into the maritime activities in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so here you people will have to go with your study. Okay, and based on that you people have to decide the things here. Okay, so if talking about okay, so like is the choice of week rested upon an individual and author's freedom, and for the book writing. Okay, so like that will be defined upon the theme that we have decided. And like I told you, so like why we haven't like decided the theme yet, so that we want to people like or like we really want to take your opinion. Okay, or like everyone's opinion. See, like fundamentally what we are going to do. So firstly we will be conducting these particular like the workshop. Okay, so after the workshop what we will be doing, so we will be like conducting one examination. Okay, so this examination will be most like specifically to write about like the proposal itself on the given topic. Okay, then after that the student goes to clear, so that we will be choosing a theme, because see, we really believe that the theme should get appropriate to everyone. Okay, so that should not become one like the imposition. So like for example, Riddhi is not comfortable in the area and we are like imposing the theme. So what we will be doing, just like that generally the publishers don't do that, but actually why are we conducting this type of the activities if we are not going to sell the book? Okay, so like this is more specifically to provide you people a portfolio, because generally the student don't get the opportunity. So mostly the professors or like the research scholars, okay, so or like the PhD people, so they get the opportunity, but despite of having potential, the student don't get an opportunity to write the book chapters very easily, or even to publish a book. Okay, so from that perspective we are doing that, but yes, we are not going to compromise with the academic excellence. Okay, or like the academic thing, we are not going to like deal with the same thing. So here what we will have to do, so while choosing the theme, so that's the later on part, so don't worry about that, we will be taking time, so don't worry about that, but we'll choose based on the best, and we will be writing based on the best, and we'll be publishing based on the best, so and so only it will give some weightage to your academic CV. Right, so that's a different part, but like overall talking about the sequence, so like firstly there will be workshop, there will be like the examination, so that will be mostly based on like some of the writing things, so that we generally do here. So based on that, those who clear, we will be going with the students, and then we will be like give you training and see. So like what we do, so like even we appoint the mentors for the students. Okay, so like those who have already done the thing, so like we invite the professors. Okay, or like as well as we invite the editors of the research journals. Okay, and these people are like helping the students to write their research chapter. So like last time, so like in like February or this year, so we had published a book on and the title of the book was Trade and Prosperity of the City Mumbai from like 1500 to 1800. Or like 1500 to like 1900 or something. So here what we did, so we conducted the same thing. So the students who were selected, so we appointed them the mentor. So like we have like Ido, like he's from Indonesia, and as well as we had the scholars from India. Okay, or like we had the like the research, like the retired like the research scholars as well as the professors. Okay, so these people mentored the students and they guided the students how to write the proper like the research chapters or like book chapters, and based on that we went on that. Okay, so if the students really have the potential, so we always have the leverage, or even if you have any grammatical problem or something, so even at that time we try to provide the people from the literature background. Okay, so like those who already have the expertise in that space. So precisely here, so the potential you should be having, so based on that we'll be proceeding here. Okay, but right now the objective of this particular session was to give you the introduction that why are we arranging this particular workshop and on which particular area we will be going with. Okay, so of course we have mentioned on the poster, but again we discussed about, and we discussed about the differentiation. So what does it mean by the research paper versus what does it mean by the research chapter? Okay, so these are the things that we have discussed. Okay, so are you clear? Are you clear the discussion that we had today, everyone? Like Riddhi, Charvi,
Yes,
and
sir.
Sanket, Anish, Chinky, Veda, all of you, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what about the chapter? What about the chapterization, sir? What's
Okay, yes, can you please like pattern? Hello.
hello?
Hello, Lakshmi. Hello. Okay, yeah, so we'll discuss about the research methodology. So don't worry about that. Yeah, so Lakshmi, you're asking something.
Oh, what about the chapterization, sir? How many chapters we have to maintain, sir?
Okay, yeah, like that really like it depends upon the crowd. Okay, so like we have decided at least 10 people or like the at least like the 10 chapters that we have decided. So like if there are like the 25 students, so then we can divide in the group. Okay, so like that we can go with C. So like that really have the like we have the freedom to go with. Okay, so the 10 we can go with the 12 also, so that's not the problem, so that we can make it flexible. But yes, what we are looking for, so we are looking for the academic excellence. Okay, if I use it more precisely, then the student should have the academic excellence. So if you have the academic excellence, okay, so like suppose you have Riddhi in the class, okay, and suppose she could not attend the examination. Okay, and after the examination, if she is going to submit us the good proposal, so even we are more free to accept the proposal, and even we can give Riddhi the backdoor entry. But yes, only if you have the academic excellence, and if the chapter is not there, we decided 10, so that we can make it 11. But yes, quality is the most important factor that we will be always looking for. Correct, Lakshmi? If you are getting my point. Okay, I hope you got the answer, Lakshmi. Okay, yeah, so like even in case you people have any doubt, difficulty or further things, okay, so you all people have our WhatsApp number, so you people can write the message on the WhatsApp, or even you people can write your doubt. So I'll share you the email address. Okay, so this is our official email address. You can write your doubts here. Okay, so now we are ending this session, and of course, like Veda has helped us to go with the YouTube live. So this session is automatically recorded. Okay, so even later on, you can go to YouTube and you can see the recorded version also. So now, what we will be doing, we will be ending this session here. So thank you for attending the class. Bye all of you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye. Yes, Mohammed. Bye bye. Good night.